We're not allowed.
Facts over feelings. Facts is ready to hear a word from the Most High tonight. I know that somebody needs something to make them think that they're not going crazy up in this place. I know you know that we are in a love affair, and I snuck off and left you by yourself because you didn't act like you wanted me in the house. You didn't act like you wanted the relationship. You acted like the grass was greener on the other side. So what did you do? You started looking on the other side. You started listening to the other side. You started walking with the other side. You started talking to the other side. But when I absence myself from your presence, when I took away that which has been fed to your soul by the Most High, when I took that away from you and said, then you be with them, then you walk with them, then you talk with them, then you leech with them and let them preach to you and let them continue to lead you astray. When I said, go ahead and do that, what did you do? All of a sudden it got dark where there used to be light. All of a sudden there was a void where you had something to lean on. All of a sudden your ship was asway in the ocean because the anchor, the rock, was gone. And all of a sudden you said to the Most High, now hold on a minute, I'm going to need to get that back. So he said to me, go on back down there and talk to them a little more. You said you wouldn't break up with them. You said it was unconditional. You said you was in a love affair. Bid them a shalom and go down there and talk to them for a little bit. Now, I want to bid shalom to all of those tonight that took the time out to join me. It's not going to be a whole lot of us tonight. I'm pretty sure we have separated the wheat from the tare. We have gotten rid of a lot of the fake from the real. But we have also shown you that every time you see something, things are not what they seem and they're not as easy as they look. When I was young, I used to watch my mother cook. And even though I watched her every day, I thought that it was easy until I moved out and had to cook for myself. I never spent so much time on the phone with my mother saying, how did you do this? And what did you do to make that come out like that? And what was the secret? Because mama, even though I watched you, even though I was around you, even though I walked and I talked with you, I never ever learned the true secret of what you was doing in the kitchen. So we have come to a place where it appears that we've had some preposterous perpetrators, imposter types in the kitchen serving y'all that GMO religion, serving y'all that artificially flavored theology. Those people who coming down still trying to mesmerize you with the slave master's church. Those ones who still want to stay in your pocket with this broken theology of they half understanding of history because they don't understand. They don't even know how the cross came out of the ark. They don't even know how to tell you that. They still want you to believe that Yeshua was Jesus who was crucified on the cross when that's not what it says in the original Hebrew. These are the people that want to keep you asleep. And when they found out somebody was waking you up, they circled their wagons and they became vicious. They became poison. They became acidic. They tried to talk you down from where you've been. So y'all know me. I'm half human and I'm half something else. So the human side of me said, let them have it. See, we don't have to argue. May there be peace between us while we are apart. And I sat back and I watched. I watched hard. I listened all day. I stayed tuned to the TV channels. I listened to the blogs and I watched the social media. I watched everything that was going on because I was waiting for those other people to walk in their anointing. I was waiting for those other people to begin to speak the will of Yahweh. I began to watch those other people. You know the ones that call him so many different names that they think the power is in the name. The power is not in the name. The power is who it's named after. See, if you don't know the ancient text, you believe that by you speaking the name, that all of a sudden you got power. I'm sorry, but if I have to dig up the old books, the book of gleaning tonight, it says right here, men call on many gods, though above all there is but one. Yet whatever they call me, I will hear them. For I am the God above names, the God embracing all names. Whatever men believe, if it serves good, it serves God. But gold necklaces are not for sheep, and outward forms of worship must suffice for the spirituality of the underdeveloped. The rituals of men may often be empty ceremonies, but they may also guard the great mysteries behind them. That's in the book of Gleaning. So what he said to you already, just because you call me by a different name and they call me by a different name, as long as they talking about me, then it's all right. I come to y'all tonight to spend a little bit of time with you, facts over feelings, as we rest in power. That y'all said that y'all was hearing some things out there that had you not understanding which way to go. See, you have to understand. The truth is the truth is the truth. It doesn't change no matter who said it. You see, a lot of y'all misunderstand that the Most High doesn't pick a chosen one. The Most High picks a regular one and molds them into a chosen one. It is a process. Everything on this earth involves a process. You didn't just pop out at conception. There was a process that brought you into creation. You had to grow your arms, grow your legs, grow your body, get your brain right, get your liquids right, learn how to breathe. There's a process, and you still didn't come out fully developed. You didn't walk out of your mama's womb and straight to your job. You didn't walk out of your mama's womb and straight behind the pulpit. You didn't walk out of your mama's womb and straight to who you are today. There's a process. And if you didn't go through a process, that means you're not evolving, you're not growing. So what he said to you, can I talk? I'm just getting started. I'm still in my intro. Y'all hold on a minute. Still in my intro. We ain't even got started yet. It's a process. Problem with us is a lot of us want the process. And a lot of us just want to get to the end and get the product. You see, I believe in process. Because when you go through the process, you can refine some things. When you go through the process, you can pull out the impurities. When you go through the process, you can separate the real from the fake. When you go through the process. We're broadcasting on 2 platforms tonight, Instagram and YouTube. So I bid both audiences a shalom. I'm pretty sure there's some folks out there that I want y'all who are on YouTube to get used to what we're already used to on Instagram. And that's this. You see, this is not about our physicality. This is about our spirituality. And just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you have to hate it. People fear what they don't understand. And maybe because it's the first time you've heard it, that maybe now you think that something is being said to you that is blasphemy. When the truth of the matter is you was taught blasphemy from the cradle to the grave. From the time you was a baby, when they put your hands together, they Jesus love me. That's when they started blaspheming you right then and there. I know it's hard for you to hear, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why we got to get into this tonight on Facts Over Feelings. I got 3 things to unpack, and then I'm gonna get out your hair, but I'm gonna hit you with this because y'all asked for it. I was gonna sit in the back and watch these other people do what they said that we couldn't do. I was gonna sit back and watch other people put together what y'all had already put together. I was gonna sit back and watch those who do a lot of talking show you that they do no walking. I don't have to keep saying it. I just showed it to you. And if I show it to you too long, even y'all begin to see how jacked up it is. And even y'all start asking me, okay, enough. We see that they worthless, spineless, knowledgeless. Now, can we get back to the business at hand? I told you I was going to come back, but you didn't think I was going to come tiptoeing back. No, we kick in the door, waving the fofo. All you heard was, y'all don't teach me no more. But you're going to get this one way or the other. Like I said, it's not for everyone. It's only for a select few. And if you cannot afford this top shelf. Then take your ass down the street to the cheap little bar down there. We here on steak and potatoes. You still on milk and cereal. We here trying to get to the truth. You comfortable living in your life. We here trying to make a movement as a people, and all you care about is a little spot that they carved out for you in the corner where they gave you a bowl and some water and a little blanket to sleep on. You comfortable in your captivity being whatever the hell you think you are. And you know what they say, when you deceive yourself twice. Once because of the person that you think you are, and the other one in front of the Most High. But y'all go ahead and keep on doing that. I done showed y'all many times before that in the book, it tells you right from the gate that everything that you do here is just a test. Can I talk for a second? Y'all done been through several classes already. Y'all, look, we done been through a pandemic. We done been through a quarantine. We done went through high unemployment. We got white supremacy fueled by police violence. We got all fresh police killings. We got rioting going on. We got calls for arms response going on. We on the verge of a civil war, they say. We got the president hiding out in the bunker every time something go wrong. People being aggressive up in their own home. We got the Nazi style response of the police these days. Now we even got black organized armed militias and independent cells popping up, gun sales at an all-time high. All of these are classes that you all are responding to. But you think that's all there is to it. No, 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 no. How many times have I told you? Must I tell y'all all again tonight? You've only been a person for 56 years. That's it. Every black person listening to me, you've only been a person in the United States for 56 years. I'm not talking to my people abroad right now. I'm talking to my people who act like they have arrived, who act like you got it all, who act like this is it. No, you don't seem to get it. 56 years. That's it. That's how long you've been a person. Everything else don't apply to you. So stop trying to ride off something that didn't even apply. When they wrote all of that, they weren't talking about you. But for 56 years, you've been in the game. But you ain't been in the game right. First of all, they didn't give you no money to get in the game. They didn't even give you a place. They didn't give you your own locker. You ain't got no place to call your own. They gave you a spot. And not only that, the referee crooked. The referee looking at two different rule books. One for the folks that's been in the game, and then for you that just showed up. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you've only been off the plantation for 155 years. You've only been off the plantation. I mean, you was property just a century and a half ago, but you acting like you arrived. This was after 246 years of being a slave, but you think you've arrived. You think this is it. Your whole race was enslaved for 400 years. 400 years, yet you've only been a person for 56. And you've only been off the plantation for 155, yet you think that you have arrived. Half of y'all mentally ain't got off the plantation yet. The other half, I hate to say it, the other half of y'all are too stupid. And I hate it's not because you want to be. It's because you've been lulled into a false sense of security where you don't think you need to know anything anymore. You think you got it all figured out. You can run to the University of Google. It's right there on your phone. It's a smartphone, right? But it dumbs you down. You've been made to think that there's nothing else that you can invent. You've been made to think that there are no more great books to be written. You've been made to think that the way that they tell you the world is the way that it is, and you don't have to go out and explore. You've been made to think these things. They dumb you down. And you have yet to respond as a people. If you're white, this ain't for you. Don't get offended. Y'all got y'all little places where y'all go, but we don't even know. Don't get offended. You tuned in. Everybody tell you to tune in. Let me help y'all out also. Anybody on here that's trolling on either one of these platforms, don't pay them no mind. Let me tell you what they're really doing. And I love it when they do it. Here's what's going on. Y'all remember When every time you saw the vampire movie, remember the vampire movie? The vampire will come in, have all kind of crazy powers. He turning into sand, coming under the door, turning to smoke and popping up. The vampire was a beast. The vampire didn't show up in the mirror. And the vampire could suck all your blood. Never mind that he's the same size as you. Now, I don't know what he working on, whether he operating on fumes, but he gonna suck all your blood out your body. Now he's full, but he has that power. But he has one weakness. And that one weakness was always the cross. But most importantly, remember this? It was the holy water. When they threw that holy water on him, he started smoking and hissing and it was painful. Just throwing water, he's throwing water. You see, the reason that the water burned him was because his power was rooted in the devil. His power was rooted in Satan. His power was rooted in the black magic. That's where his power came from, which was contrary to the power of the Most High. So anything that the Most High has blessed off on, that has his power on it, that is living water, is acidic, it's acid. So when it touch him, it burns. Nobody tunes into Facts Over Feelings to hear what I have to say. Nobody came to look at me. People came because they know that when I start to rightly divide this word, when I begin to exegete the text, you hear Yah, just like I do. I'm here for the ride too. But when Yah's word is spit upon someone who has their power rooted in black evil, it burns them and they can't keep quiet. That's why they troll. That's why they say the things they do. It's burning them right now. They don't want to see a black man sit here and talk with power to his people, about his people, just for his people, to improve his people, to uplift his people, to build his people up, to motivate his people, to inspire his people, to tell his people it's all right to fight back. They can't stand that. That's acid to them. It's burning them right now. That's why they trolling the page right now. That's why they calling me all kind of names and saying, well, what about this and what about that? Because the truth hurts them. Oh, y'all know I'm coming back for you right now. Somebody better say, talk to me, black man. Because the black man came to talk tonight. I want y'all to know something. Don't take it the wrong way. I didn't make this up. I was born in this world. I didn't make it. Pac. It's true. Bottom line is, I don't mind the trolls, because as long as they trolling, that means I'm doing a good job. As long as they talking mess, that means I'm hurting them, I'm cutting them. That means as long as they spewing their madness, trying to distract you from the word that's being delivered to you from the Most High, that's confirmation that what you're hearing is the truth. Because if I was talking a bunch of nonsense, they wouldn't say nothing. If I was sitting up here telling you some crazy mess off the top of my head, then they wouldn't say nothing. But because I'm alluding to the word, and because I'm showing you how it's applicable in this crazy world we live in today, whether I'm talking about the Nephilim, the pyramid, the apocalypse, or anything, whether I'm talking about the Sumerians or the Anunnaki, whether I'm talking about Ra, Enki, Enlil, or any of those, whether I'm talking about Horus or any of those, whether I roll it on back to Anu, if I roll it all the way back to Samaria, to the Gilgamesh epic, it doesn't make a difference either way. I'm speaking the truth, and you can't handle it. Can I teach in here? Somebody in here tonight is going to hear something that's not going to make them feel good. And then somebody in here tonight is going to hear something on Facts Over Feelings that they thought it, but they need to hear it from somebody else. Now, let me be fair before I continue. Some of you all will get none of this. It'll go right over your head, even though you're trying. Here's the problem. It's because it doesn't look to you like you think it should look. You see, all your brainwashed life, you was told that when the righteous ones began to speak, that when the prophesying began, that when the time arrived per the scriptures, that when we entered the last days and when we got into the end days, you was too busy trying to look at what they taught you in the slave master church rather than think that he would raise one from amongst you, that he would pull somebody from the crew, that he would find somebody just as jacked up as you to talk to you, because otherwise you wouldn't pay attention. But half y'all can't see past that. Half y'all paying too much attention to the messenger and totally missing the message. But what I have found out is whether you accept this message or not, whether you buy into this BS, as some people call it, bad stuff or not, whether you understand how all the things that are happening here on the ground are rooted in things that are happening above. Until you can get past that part, then ain't no need of me talking about Brianna right now. There's no need of me talking about Kenosha right now. There's no need of me to speak on Lafayette right now. There's no need of me to talk about Trader Joe's right now. There's no need of me to talk about all those urban tactics and urban guerrilla warfare that we need to talk about right now. There's no need of me to talk about why Noah was a descendant of Enoch and that his name is then translated to Hanok. And if you go back and look at the old Egyptian scriptures, his name is Theanok, which means a descendant of Enoch. But I can't get to none of that if you can't get past the vessel that it was sent in. Now, if I leave, there's a void, and that void is in your spirit. So take a seat. Grab a pen and paper if you need to take notes. Put me on the big screen and turn on the stereo. We about to get a little deep late tonight. This grown folk business. The kids should be in bed. Otherwise, tell them to be quiet and pay attention too. Young man, young woman that's listening to me, because I know a lot of y'all got me tuned in. Don't let your ignorant friends put something in your head when you have gotten on the path of truth. Don't let somebody tell you you don't want to grow up and be a man like that. Don't let nobody put that in your head, young king. Don't let nobody tell you, young lady, that I've never seen a real man before. Someone that loves me unconditionally. Someone that says that it's okay for you to be the person that you are with all your imperfections. He didn't make no more perfect ones. Everybody is unique, and you're unique too. And don't let nobody take that from you. Whatever your passion is, if they tell you that you can't do it, you tell them to go to hell and do it anyway. If you like to sing and they want you to type, sing. If they want you to run track, but you like to write poetry, write poetry. No matter what your passion is, that's what you do in life, because that's the gift he gave you. I'm talking to the kids right now. You have no reason to look in the mirror and wonder why you hate yourself. Don't you know you wonderfully made? Don't you know that there's people out there trying to come up with all kind of pills and potions and medicines to get their skin to look like this? They laying around in the sun trying to look like you. You trying to stay in the house trying to look more like you. Don't you understand that you are everything that they want to be? And that's why they hate you. That's why they kill you. That's why they try to demify you when something goes wrong. That's why they try to bring out your bad side when they mess up. That's why they want everybody not to feel sorry for you for the things that they're doing to you, because of the simple fact that they know that if you knew who you really was, can I teach in here? And you would realize that you have every reason in the world to hold your head up. Tonight, we got to deal with a couple things, y'all. Before I begin, I want to go to what's happening here on the ground. And what's happening here on the ground, I was looking at the story. I know y'all saw it already. CNN today. CNN carried a story about us, all the members of the NFAC. Yes, CNN carried a story about us today. And if y'all don't mind, I'd like to share the contents of that story with you all, because I couldn't believe that we were suddenly a breaking story on CNN. It says a different kind of Kentucky Derby. Since 1875, the Kentucky Derby has gone uninterrupted since World War II. This year, due to the coronavirus pandemic, it was rescheduled from May. The horses will also race without the cheers of fans in the stands. You got to pause right there because a lot of people don't realize what actually happened. Some smooth stuff happened a couple of days ago. We had a meeting with the great city of Louisville, to discuss our impending arrival on September 5th. And it was interesting to us that it was a great meeting and everybody was feeling like we arrived at a middle ground where we wouldn't have to come in and act like a bunch of criminals, but that we could come in and exercise our constitutional rights. Y'all know the next formation is going to be bigger than the last one. A lot of y'all have already said you're going to be there. We talking about the real ones that's dedicated for the cause and not dedicated to an individual. We talking about the ones who said, I'm for the liberation of my people, stopping what happened to these people getting shot and protecting my own people. I don't give a damn what nobody says. Y'all told me to do this and I'm going to do it. I'm talking to those people that's going to be there. Y'all know the next formation is going to be historic. They're going to have all kind of people out there, cameras, all that. We already know that, but we're not there for that. Let that hang for a minute. We're not there for that. But the very next day after we had that meeting with them, they made this unprecedented announcement that there'll be no fans at the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, that changed the whole game because the whole idea was that you ain't going to the Derby because you can't get through us. Well, they took the people away, which is interesting because they said they're still going to run the race. So you're going to run the race in an empty stadium? I'm not buying that. I'm pretty sure there'll be some pretty wealthy people who've got limousines that'll still be trying to get in to the Derby. But the interesting thing was they came the next day and said there'll be no fans. Like, that's something they do all the time. Not to mention there's another big race that's being ran the day before that ain't nobody talked about. But the article goes on to say here in CNN, it says the Churchill Downs racetrack is expected to be the focal point for demonstrators preparing to interrupt the sporting spectacle if Cameron fails to announce a decision on the criminal investigation before the Derby that happens on September the 5th. The Not Fucking Around Coalition, an organized black militia, is gearing up to interrupt the Derby if there is no resolution. I'm reading from CNN. It says John Fitzgerald Johnson, that be me, founder of the NFAC, that be me, which made its first appearance in Louisville on July 25th, checked in with the proper officials ahead of time before landing on the ground. The group, which consists of legally armed black men and women, let me say this again, reading from CNN, the group, which consists of legally armed black men and women. See, they finally got it right. They haven't said this for 3 months. We've been running around for 3 months doing all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden, this is what we find out. I see we got some traitors up in here tonight. I salute all you backstabbing traitors who still sneaking over here just to see what we doing over here in NFAC because you are no longer a part. Please come on in and inform all of your friends that we do it for real over here while y'all just talk about it. See, this is the truth and we on our way to the promised land while you gonna sit here in slave land after we gone. Getting back to the article, it says, and I'm going to say it one more time. The group, which consists of legally armed black men and women, marched from downtown to the Hall of Justice to exercise their First and Second Amendment rights, said Johnson, who was also known as Grandmaster Jay. Johnson announced a call to action on the steps of the courthouse that day and demanded that Cameron and Bashir be more transparent with the public about Taylor's case. I can report that since I made that request, they have done just that. If you all haven't been paying attention every day, they're coming out with some type of update, letting us know how this process is moving along. I don't know why it's still taking so long, but it's still moving along. Every day they're telling us who did what. Every day they're telling us who got this. Every day they come in with something. So they gave us the transparency. See, that's how you exercise power, people. We went down there to display the power. It's not just about walking around. See, all y'all who like to go out there and wave signs and holler and chant and shit, you never tell them what you want. You just screaming, no justice, no peace. So guess what you get? You get no justice and you get no peace. They give you just what you asked for. But that's not how we work. The guns is in case you decide that you don't want to give us what we asked for, but so far you're giving us what we asked for. So we go down there and say we want transparency. Damn it, we got transparency. And that's what they said right here in this CNN article. And they said They wanted this to be more transparent with the public about the Taylor's case. They have. Johnson gave a 4-week notice to law enforcement agencies that to start talking, or we're going to come back here to make their presence known. I'm reading what the newspaper said. I'm not saying it. This is CNN. Says that I gave a 4-week notice to law enforcement. I don't think I gave it to just law enforcement, but we're going to go with what they've written. Because remember, this is the media. And they're saying that they gave a 4-week notice to start talking. Well, we're going to come back here to make their presence known. And during their visit, every time a notification of a news conference is published, a rumor spreads throughout the community and it puts everyone on edge, the community coordinator said. So what they're saying, I'm just going to jump out of the article because it goes on. But the point I'm making to you is this is a chess game. This is a chess game. They made a move. We made a move. They made a move. Now it's our turn to make a move. But the reason I'm giving this to you is because today they had a lot of protesting going on in Louisville, and I salute all the people out there that were protesting. They knew this was going to be a big event. You know, they boarded up the windows. Why every time we got a problem with something that they did to us, they board up their windows? That part I don't understand. But they had a huge protest there today. A lot of folks thought we were going to be there, but no. We already said, and we've announced September the 5th. But they had a huge protest. I know a few folks did get arrested. You know, they made them uncomfortable. They were in the streets. They shut down Central Avenue. You know, I have to do nothing but say they came out the house, made their presence felt. So I got to rock with that. No, NFAC was not there today, but we will be there on the 5th. So until then, like I said before, it's all about how we approach this thing. Now that they've taken the people away, it changes the whole game up a little bit, doesn't it? Well, we'll see about that. In the meantime, while we're still focused on Bree, because I've been saying all eyes on Bree, I told y'all that. There's a few other incidents that done popped up that I said deserve some attention. And I thought that it'd be a great idea to let all the other folks who talk about they can do it better and that they don't need to be following behind some guy that's an agent or whatever the hell I'm supposed to be, that they can do it better. So I'm going to bring you up to speed on these two other areas that the other militias are supposed to be covering. You know, they've got unrest out in Wisconsin following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. If you don't know who Jacob Blake is, you're under a rock. In Kenosha, that turned into a political flashpoint. They're already trying to make it political, like we really care. Nobody cares what the politicians got to say. They're the main reason things are this way. See, let me break something down to y'all. A lot of people lose track of the fact that the government is three pieces. You've got the judicial, the legislative, and the executive branch. They keep your attention on the executive branch, the president, vice president, all them clowns. But they're not the ones making the decisions. All they do is sign whatever gets to their desks. You understand what I'm saying? The piece that they don't want you to pay attention to is the legislative branch, where they're making the law. They quietly over there coming up with all these crazy ass bills, just like a lot of y'all don't know this, but they even have a thing called ALEC. What is it? ALEC, ALEC. It's an organization of corporations that get together and they write laws, and then they give them to a lawmaker. He argues it on the floor. Everybody agreed to the crazy shit. And then it goes to the executive branch and then they sign it. Now the judicial branch is supposed to bail their ass out whenever shit go wrong that nobody thought about. Like the time they tried to stick Bush's ass in office. And we was like, now hold on a goddamn minute. Everybody voted for this dude over here. What you talking about? What did they do? They ran to the judicial and said the Supreme Court says, well, no, we're going to say Bush won. And they let a Supreme Court overrode the voting power of the people to put one of the most crookedest presidents in office beside the clown we got right now. Okay? So they keep your attention focused on it. Oh, who's going to vote for Biden and who's going to vote for to lock a motherfucker up Harris and they don't want you to pay attention over here. Who's making these crazy ass laws? You want police reform? It ain't who's in the White House. It's who's in the legislature, who's in the Congress, who's in the Senate, who's in the House of Representatives. They the ones making the laws. All they got to do is find some clown crazy enough to sign whatever they send to him. So y'all keep on sitting around talking about, well, you know, I'm going to vote for Biden because if we don't vote, we got to get Trump out. This is not about getting Trump out. This is about eliminating racism. Because if you get Trump out, yeah, he gone, but you think racism is going to disappear? And you still left these same old cronies in office that's been in office since I was a baby. They still sitting their old ass up there. I don't like these black folks. They're not going to do nothing for you. Got to clean house from the rooter to the tutor. Otherwise, y'all might as well call Rhoda Rooter because you're going to be full of, you know, I ain't going to say that word out here. Now, on the other hand, let me speak to the other side real quick because I know y'all out there. There's a certain group of people amongst us that don't give a damn about none of that. They don't even know about none of that. They don't care to hear about no legislative executive. They don't give a damn about none of that. All they know is that they sick of the BS and they ready to shoot somebody. They ready to burn somebody. They ready to tear some shit down. They don't have a plan of what to build in its place. They don't have a clue about how to actually rebuild the infrastructure after they destroy it. They are still dependent on services that are provided to them by the very same people that they want to attack. For instance, let's say, do you control your own water source? Do you? Do you control and provide your own electricity? Do you? Do you manufacture any of the raw materials? Do you have those to produce the clothes on your back, the shoes on your feet? Can you do you make your own cars? Do you have your own airlines? Do you have any of the shit that you are a customer to right now? You're a customer to the whole goddamn infrastructure that you want to tear down, but you ain't got no plan B to put nothing in place. I'm talking to that group. I'm not talking to all y'all who know that. I'm talking to the group of people that just want to go out here and get in a running shootout with the police, and then that shit is over and we get wiped the fuck out. I'm giving y'all something to think about. Because if that's what you want to do, just make sure you accomplish a few things along the way. Just so you understand how deep your job is. Let me help y'all out. I'm talking to the rah-rah crew. While you doing all of that, make sure that along the way, you abolish the U.S. government. Make sure that's part of your plan. That while you tearing shit up, you have abolished the U.S. government. Once you've done that, make sure that you establish a new unified coalition and a unified coalition court. Make sure you got all of that ready to be set up. Make sure you know how to redistribute all the land since you done went ahead and did all of that. Then make sure you know how to go and get all the gold that's been stolen and redistribute it to all of the people. And then make sure you abolish the US dollar because now we got to trade under your new system. Make sure you do that. And then while you're doing all of that, make sure that you have enough people to back up what you've done, because if you don't, the 250 million that you just aggressed are going to wipe your ass out. You think I'm going to say something behind that? No, I want you to think about what I just said. Now, Malcolm X said it best. He said, yes, I am not an integrationalist. I am a separationalist. But until such a time, we still got to eat, sleep, and live here. We got to find a way to feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, protect ourselves, take care of our kids, the whole 9 yards. You got to do those things until such a time comes that you can leave. Until then, stop talking about you just want to run out and get into it with somebody and then think you're going to take your ass home. You don't even own the home. You don't own the land that it sits on. You don't own the country that the land is a piece of. So how in the hell you going to pull something like that? Y'all really don't get out of your emotions and use this. Y'all talk about if we do that, all we got to do is go into guerrilla warfare. That's what we got to do. Guerrilla warfare, really. How many of y'all know about urban warfare for real? Don't you know that urban warfare is combat that's conducted in urban areas like towns and cities? But now urban combat differs from open combat because the operational and the tactical levels are completely different. The complicating factors in our urban warfare includes the presence of the places where you at. Imagine fighting door to door, just in your neighborhood, house to house, closet to closet, room to room, in places where people live. Really? Y'all really think y'all strapped like that? Y'all think that's where we at? No, y'all don't understand. We got to grow. We got to build. We got to organize. You're not a threat to the nation yet, but the nation is concerned because they see something that could become a threat. If we could just get it together. But after the clown show I saw last week, they probably sitting back laughing their ass off. I've seen all the redneck boys coming out with videos now. They feel even better talking shit now, even with the existence of NFAC. They feel like they wasn't talking at first because they didn't know how black folks was going to rock with it. But that's okay. White folks know they don't have to do that job to us no more. We got enough black folks on the payroll that'll make it happen for you. Remember, people always accuse you of what they're doing. Whenever you in a relationship and someone is accusing you of cheating all the time, they cheating. When someone sees you handling a whole lot of money and stealing ain't even on your mind, but they call you a thief, they're the thief. When someone walks up to you and says that you're trying to upset something that's going to help all the people, when really that's not what you're doing, they're the ones that's trying to do it. And you about to mess up their money and mess up their game and mess up their flow. And to the ignorant ones who sit around and get oohed and awed because somebody say some slick words and ran some game on you, you can't tell the difference between when you're actually hearing from the Most High and when you're hearing from the devil sitting right in front of you. Most y'all don't know the difference. And if you weak-minded and you oohing and you ahhing because everybody's saying something that you wants to hear, then you're a goddamn fool and you're gullible. You have to have a discerning spirit. We have to have a discerning spirit. That's one of the reasons why you have to clean up your body. That's why you got to start putting the right stuff in your body so your pineal gland can kick in. So you can use your higher abilities. So you can use the ability of discernment. So you can go with your sixth sense and your feelings. You have to know that. Somebody said that it's called deflection. No, I call it projection. They project on you what they are weak in. If they know that let me give you an example. I will never forget this. I'll never forget this. Back in 1997, I was the tour DJ for an R&B artist by the name of Yvette Michelle. She was signed to Loud RCA Records. She had a hit song out called I'm Not Feeling You. It was produced by Funkmaster Flex on Dope on Plastic, my man Dan Tanner Smalls. I was brought in as the tour DJ by Sheree, who was the niece of, what was her name? God, I can't think of her name. The R&B singer from back in the day. Phyllis Hyman, rest in peace. She brought me into the situation. We go on tour. Now remember, I'm the DJ for all y'all who don't think I'm nobody who ain't never did. Now don't believe that bullshit. This is what happened when you get blacklisted. But anyway, you can go out and look at shit all over you. I don't care. The bottom line is we out on tour. I'm the DJ. Everybody else on the road with me were females. Everybody. Drop dead, gorgeous background, the backup dancers, everybody. Drop dead. I'm the only dude on the road with them. We rolling. We all over the place. One day, I'm not going to tell you who this famous producer is because I don't want y'all to be all judgmental and then go and roast them for what I'm about to say. But one day, she was going to do a collabo with a very famous producer. And he came up to me and he said, I don't know how you do it. I said, what you talking about, bro? He said, how can you be on road with all of these women? And you ain't. I'm like, bro, let me explain something to you. These are my sisters. I'm out here making money. I'm not out here trying to do nothing crazy like that. I don't look at these sisters like that. I'm the only brother out here with them too. Ain't nothing gonna happen to them on my watch, bro. I don't look at them. These are my sisters. They get on my nerves like my sister get on my nerves. They have ups and downs like anybody else. I'm not looking at them. Why you come out, bro? Well, I don't know if I could do your job. You see what he did? He tried to project on me what he wasn't strong enough to do. You understand what I'm saying? What he couldn't do. So when someone is accusing you of something that's stopping you from moving forward and something that's going to elevate you or change your position in life, they are projecting on you what their weakness is. Can I talk to somebody in here tonight? Is anybody learning something up in here tonight? If you're not, I'm not talking about y'all that's getting burned by the word because you're not a child of the Most High. Matter of fact, you're not even the right color to be up in here. I know it's probably got you all broke up. But see, every now and then we got to have something to ourselves. Every now and then, it's okay for us to be compassionate and loving to other groups, but we need to have some stuff just to ourselves, working on ourselves, learning how to get along with ourselves. This whole exercise with the NFAC, me, and this whole walk has been an exercise in us showing how we can't get along with just ourselves. There's nobody else involved in this story. We can't blame it on the white man. We can't blame it on the Latinos. We can't blame it on the yellow man. We can't blame it on the Asian man. We can't blame it on the Indian man. We can't blame it on nobody but us, because the only people in this particular episode history will record was black people who couldn't get along with black people trying to do something for black people at a time when black people was getting killed in the streets. My brothers and sisters, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. And then you might find out not only are you incapable of handling it, but that you yourself have not evolved to be able to receive it. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but we're going to move on anyway. But I want to talk a little bit about the situation out in Kenosha. Now, this brother, being a good Samaritan, pulled over to break up a fight. Police came. He was glad the police was there because they could take over. Instead, because he's a black man, and I'm going to say it, nobody don't want to say it, he was going to get in his car. And they shot him. Now he paralyzed from the waist down. Where was the threat? What was the threat? The only thing I have to say to the governor of Wisconsin, and I know your state is jacked up, sir, but I really hope you don't pull a Breonna Taylor. I really hope you don't do that. This was way out of bounds. Too obviously. I told y'all there's 4 levels to resistance. First, the people get pissed off. Second, the people start protesting. Third, the people start tearing up shit, and then they start looting. And then fourth comes the military response or the militant response. Last time I checked, it looked like they burning shit down out there, so they well on the way to level 2 to 3. So I really hope that somebody gets put in something for this one, not put on a paid vacation while let me say this for my peoples. We don't give a fuck about y'all investigations. Stop telling us that, because of the gravity of the situation, we're going to do an investigation. Fuck an investigation. How about a conviction? You see, when something happens to one of y'all quick to tell us we're going to find out who did it and someone's going to prison for this. But when some shit happened to one of us, we're going to find out who did it and we're going to do an investigation. Here's a thought. Why don't you do a joint investigation with us? Why don't you let us investigate it with you? So that way we can both find out shit at the same time. If you ain't got nothing to hide, if this was such a tragic lone wolf police officer who was fighting for his life, then why don't you let us do the investigation with you? Or if you don't want the NFAC to do it, I'm pretty sure there's enough black lawyers and enough people that would love to have eyes on. Why don't you share the investigation? Why don't you let us run a parallel investigation? Give us access to all of the same information that you're going to have before you go take that half-ass shit to one of your crooked-ass grand juries, and let us take one to our grand juries too. You got a grand jury. We should have a black grand jury that meets once a month just to hear shit. That way, if it doesn't sound like something that we agree with, that way when y'all come out with your, we looked at it and it don't look like it. We don't give a fuck about what you said. We looked at it too. And according to what we looked at, it looked fucked up. We looked at the same thing you looked at. Y'all say, talk to me, Jay. So I got to talk about that for a second. And then I got to talk about Lafayette. Now, I told you I had questions with that last night. Here's my problem with both of what these stories I'm about to talk about. Already, the media is trying to tear down the victims. I saw an article in The Advocate where it says that Trayford Pellerin, who died at the hands of Lafayette police, had a lengthy criminal record. Pardon my language, what the fuck that got to do with what happened to the man out there between the time the police showed up, he walked a quarter mile to the convenience store, you shot him. He could have been Santa Claus on his day off. We don't care about that, but you do. Because you want the public not to feel sorry for this black man who lost his life. You won't want the public. Matter of fact, I'm so happy that the brother did not die in Kenosha because it happened right in front of his kids. Okay. But at the same time, if they had killed him, then it wouldn't be, it'd be their story because they wouldn't let the kids, they wouldn't care what the kids had to say, but it would have been their story. But in this particular instance, they even then went out, well, you know, we don't give a damn. See, that's the same. Let me tell you something, black people. I see where you're getting it from. I can look through you and tell you where you get it from. You can't behold the eyes of the truth and I don't see through you. Let me help y'all out. I see where you get it from. You see, it is the common practice of your oppressor to make you look like less than a human being. So whenever you do something that will make people have sympathy for you, they come out and they tear you down. Now I understand where black people get it from, that when a black person comes out and people might want to gravitate to that person or uplift that person, y'all do the same thing. You got that from slave master. You got that from being oppressed. You got that because you hate that which what you are. And anytime you have to stand in front of the truth, you see right through you. But the revelation is, I see where you got it from. They're trying to say that he had a lengthy criminal record. We don't care about Pellerin's criminal record. They're trying to say that the brother in Kenosha, you know, he had some run-ins with the law too. What does that? So what? Is that supposed to mean that he was justified in them? They didn't know this man. They said it themselves. They didn't know either one of them. So it's not like they were on the case. But black people, y'all stop doing what they do, because they're doing it right now here in the press. The only thing that I've learned, and we have all learned in the last 3 months since I came on the scene, hot and heavy, is that when they can't find nothing to say bad about us, they don't say nothing at all. They would not even report the story. They'll act like it didn't happen. Have y'all seen any stories about that clown show that happened out in Stone Mountain? You ain't seen no more about that. There's videos of people slipping up, tripping up, falling on weapons and all kind of shit. They ain't talking about that. Matter of fact, they trying to act like that didn't happen. You still got white folks out here talking about stuff about the NFAC like Stone Mountain didn't happen. If I was them, I would shut up. All these guys, what is it, Old Country and all these other redneck white boys, they'll never want to see me in person. I love how they talk. White people do a good game at talking until you show up, and then all of a sudden they on the floor leaking and everybody want to call the cops. We're not dealing with that no more either. I think a lot of people don't realize, let me help you out, America. We're losing the line between police and problem. I'm just speaking for my people, and I'm having a hard time holding motherfuckers back. Okay? It's getting to the point now where they're not seeing y'all as people who come to protect and serve. That's about to go out the goddamn window. And yes, I realize my position. I know I could speak a word and unleash holy hell in this country. And all y'all who don't think that I can't do it, don't push me into that position. I'm not there. I'm no threat to you. We're here to protect the black race. We're here to defend the black race. But we're also here to inspire the black race to protect yourself, organize yourself, fight back yourself. You shouldn't have to wait for people to get on a plane to fly down to where you at. You sitting there waiting for somebody to come and do something that you can do yourself. Why? Because you live there. Well, I got to live here. Well, what the fuck are you fighting for then? You need some backup. Yeah, you got that. You need somebody to come get behind you while you doing what you doing, because you doing the same thing, but you need some more backup. You got that. But you don't sit there and be like, where's so-and-so at? When are they going to get here? That is some punk, pussy, non-black. I'm sorry. That ain't my people. So y'all thought we was going to have an easy ride tonight? Nah. Because we got to get back to business. NFAC, watch your emails. Some of y'all already know what I'm talking about. Now we got to get to the hard part. Now we got to get to the painful part. Now we got to get to the nitty gritty of it. How much time I got? Okay, I got a little bit of time. Okay. We got to get into this. It's bad enough that they shot that boy while he was getting in his car. Yep, police did that. Got an answer for that. It's bad enough they shot that boy while he was going into the convenience store after they chased him for a quarter mile. Police did that. Yep. A lot of y'all talking about police reform and defund the police. Everybody running around talking about, I'm sick of the police. Y'all sitting there, running your mouth talking about, I hear you. I'm with you the whole way. Police got you. But y'all don't seem to remember something, so let me help you out, because apparently y'all done forgot that it done showed up again. I didn't get into this particular time. I didn't come out the house suited and booted this time because of what the police did. Oh, no. Y'all keep forgetting what brought me out the house was when these white boys, citizens, just regular motherfuckers, took it upon themselves to jump in a pickup truck, chase a young black boy down, and he fought for his life over a shotgun, and he killed him. Oh, we coming to the end of the first half of Facts Over Feelings. YouTube, y'all too. I'm going to jump out and come back. But we're going to finish this up. I see y'all back in a minute. It's break time. Facts Over Feelings. Not fucking with y'all tonight. Not at all. If you don't come back, no loss to me.